Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here in June. A very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. Hello and welcome back to Big Mouth, and you can keep in touch with this or any other conversation I incite over on my Twitter at MoviesTVMad, and welcome to Saturday's edition of the dceu Daily. What a special day yesterday was. What a special night yesterday was, and last night was, and all of that, because Release the Snyder Cup was trending big time because it was a big day, wasn't it? Yes, it was the 14th of the 2nd, which means a lot. 214, the length of Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League movie. And did Zack get involved, or did Zack get involved? Let's have a look at this. It's 2:14 and people have been asking me what would be on a Snyder Cut sandwich. Subway, the sandwich would be in a league of its own, that's for sure. We hope it's easy to lose, but if you dig around, it's usually close by. Who has been hoping for the Snyder Cut sandwich? Question mark, hashtag 214. Obviously, it's all meat, no cheese, no bologna. Now, that's a big, big statement from Zack Snyder, maybe calling out for the current DCEU for being no cheese, all cheese, and all bologna. Maybe that was a bit of a dig from Zack Snyder, but he certainly got involved. He really did, didn't he? And before he did all of that, he posted a picture. Of course, he wasn't going to let this day pass. Now, if I go to my pictures, we'll check this out. Be with me. I don't have any editing software, as you know. You have to be patient with me, right? So where are we? Here we are. Happy 214. Now, look what we got here. This is really, really awesome. You can't see it properly, but you've all seen it already. Don't give me that. So what we've got here is the Flash in the air. There's kind of this big piece of lightning, which he seems to be jumping towards. And the rest, is that the rest of the team there? I'm not quite sure who's there with him. But it's a very good picture. And obviously, now this is interesting, of course, because no one's really touched on this. People keep on debating whether the CG's been done. Well, the CG looks pretty done in this picture, doesn't it? Right. So why have I titled this video, Warner Brothers will not release the Snyder Cut? Why? Because they won't. They don't want to. Why? Because they've decided not to. They don't want to release the Snyder Cut. They don't want to touch the Snyder Cut with a barge pole. The trending's great. What Zack's doing is great. What he's done from the very beginning to get his vision of Justice League released has been great. It's not his fault. He can't release this cut. There's been nonsense spoken about legal action. There's been nonsense spoken that Zack can do it illegally. If Zack released this picture illegally, his career would be over. Even if he'd found another way of doing it, we'd get to see the cut. But his name would be tatters. There's no question about that. I want to see the film desperately, but I don't want the man to sacrifice his career. So, do I know this for a fact that Warner Brothers don't want to? No, of course I don't. I don't have those kind of links. I mean, I've spoken to people in the past, sources from the company, but it's pretty obvious that this company do not want to release this cut. Zack Snyder's vision. Even after what happened, even after the version they put out being so terrible and embarrassing, they still will not put this movie out. I've just read you out a tweet from Subway, a major company, backing this cut. And still nothing from Warner Brothers. They refuse to release this. Now, I made a prediction yesterday on my video saying that I could see Zack Snyder announcing the Snyder Cut of Justice League graphic novel and the winner of the artwork going on there. Now, I don't think they've announced a winner yet. Am I wrong? I don't think so anyway. So that could still happen. But the problem is, with a graphic novel of a film, then you're giving away what's in said film. So, kind of seems unlikely, doesn't it? Even though I was hearing rumours, but this is the thing, isn't it? I was thinking about this the other day. Can they really release a graphic novel of the Snyder Cut of Justice League? It would give the game away. So then you'd think, well, if they do that, we're never going to see the film. It's a tragic situation. I don't want to come here after such a celebratory night, right, where the movement is trending. For once, the movement is uniting, and it's beautiful, and I enjoyed it, and I made a tweet myself, right, hashtagging 214 and released the Snyder Cup, and retweeting many others. Of course I did. But at the end of the day, right, we can keep on fighting, but it's up to Warner Brothers if they're going to release this thing. And I think, and I've spoken about this before, I think we've lost the skill set of this conversation. We are talking about how good we are, how great it is that we were trending. Oh, look what we did. Look what we achieved last night. Yes, we trended. And that's great. And that's important. But we're still nowhere nearer getting this cup released. Think about last night. And again, I don't wish to be negative, but what I want to be is very transparent with you lot, because we're a family here. You know, we're fighting for the same thing. So I could come on here like many YouTubers saying, yeah, man, yeah, we are hashtagging, man. Isn't it good? Let's get the straw hats on. Go arm in arm and dance around the fire. No, I'm not going to do that, right? Terrible American accent, right? But anyway, you get my meaning. Everyone's doing YouTube videos celebrating like we've actually got the cup, when all we've done is trended. Yet again, yes, we've trended. That's great, but it's nothing we haven't achieved before. What did we get from Zach? A picture and a couple of tweets about a sandwich and Subway, and a quote tweet from Subway. That's it. That's all we've got. That's not Zach's fault. He can't keep on posting stuff. Look, he can only do so much. So this is not a blame game, right? Absolutely not. We are nowhere nearer getting this cut. And we didn't think that when Gal Gadot and Ben Affleck tweeted release the Snyder Cup. So after a great night and a great day with this hashtag, with all that beautiful artwork, and I love you guys and I love your passion, and I've seen so much of your artwork. I'm not artistically inclined in terms, I mean, I can act, kind of, I can write, but I'm not a painter or a drawer or, editing stuff like that. So you've done a great job, and I'm so proud of everyone, and I don't want to bring a cloud over this, but I think just doing videos and saying, yeehaw, we're trending, doesn't really cut it for me, because we're nowhere near getting to our aim, which is seeing this film, which is seeing David Ayer's cut of the Suicide Squad. These are really important things, and we really, really need to think again what we're going to do next. Yes, we're trending. Yes, RT Snyder Cut are doing a great job and a great thing. I respect them. I respect you guys, and most importantly from anything, I respect Zack Snyder, because what Warner Brothers put him through was despicable. But we can't keep on rehashing the same words. We've got to keep on fighting, but we've got to find a new way of fighting. I said this months ago. We have to find filmmakers out there who are willing to stand by Zack Snyder and say, this was wrong. We've got the comic book guy who created Deadpool. He's been fantastic. We need more people like that who are willing to stand up and say, hey, Warner Brothers. We need people from within Warner Brothers who work for them. That sounds an impossibility. But there must be someone of power in there who's willing to make a sacrifice and say, what happened to Zack Snyder, it's wrong. Of course that's not going to happen. But we've got to try. We've got to try something. Because at the moment, I feel that Warner Brothers are winning. And again, I'll say it. It's not really, I suppose it's not a good thing for me to come on here after such a great night and so much positivity. Zack tweeting the artwork and all of that and saying, Warner Brothers still refuse to release this film. But that's where we are. And come on, guys and girls, let's admit it. You know that. You know that Zack, before yesterday, hadn't posted for ages. It even seems like this artwork seems to be something to cover up the tracks that we're not getting any traction here. So let's look back to the 17th of November, where we were a lot more hopeful. The tweets, the hashtags from Gal and Ben were awesome. We were really, really excited. And there seemed to be some traction in terms of Warner Brothers and DC re-adding Zack Snyder to their Twitter accounts as a friend, following him, right? So it seemed that maybe there were some negotiations. Do I think there were some negotiations back then? Yes, because I told you lot there was. There was absolute negotiations. The big key factor is here that Zack Snyder feels or felt at the time he was in a in a position of power where he said, I want my entire cut to be released. He's talking about 3.5 hours, 4 hours of goodness. And Warner Brothers are not willing to release a film that long, whether it's on HBO Max or in the cinemas. They are not willing. They want it cut down. They want it halved. And Zack Snyder is not willing to do that. So then I ask you today, and this is really a debate for you guys to talk down in the comments, and hopefully I can get involved if I've got a bit of time later, because this will be a premiere and this will go out live. What would you rather do? See Zack Snyder's full 3.5, 4 hour movie, or would you would you want him to compromise and cut this down film to maybe 2.5 to 3 hours? What do you think about that, guys and girls? What's my opinion? Oh, it's difficult, isn't it? It really is difficult. Part of me just says, come on, Zack. I know you don't want to compromise. I know you walked away from this project because they wanted you to compromise. I just want to see the damn movie. And 3 hours of his cut is better than nothing. But then I come to my senses and I say, no, Zack, you are absolutely right. We want to see this full picture, this full movie. But let me tell you another truth, because I'm hitting you with truth bombs today. Again, this is not really a good choice of a video. I'm already losing subscribers. I'm going to lose more for posting such a negative video. But as I say, I'm not going to be one of those people who just does a video to get clicks. You know, it's easy. It's easy for me. After last night, I can get all my Zack Snyder fans, subscribers to come in and we can say, yeehaw, it's awesome. And I can get more subscribers. And I'm probably never going to get to 1,000 subs because I'm too direct and too honest. But hey, I don't need the money. I don't need to be successful. 50 people watching the videos is better than nothing. But anyway, the truth is, we are never going to get Zack's full vision of Justice League. Warner Brothers are not going to do it. They are not going to release 3.5 to 4 hours of footage. Now, here's a deeper question, right? If his original, is this his original cut? Or is this his original cut of Justice League before he did editing, before it was going to be released? That's really something that Zack hasn't really covered, and the fans haven't really asked that. So we know there's 3.5 to 4 hours of goodness. We know, even by that picture, we can tell most of the CG's been done. He did say he wanted to tidy up in places. We don't know if he's already done it, right? So is it in fact that Zack never had any intention of showing us a 4-hour movie anyway? So why has he been playing hardball with Warner Brothers, now wanting that full cut, that unedited cut to be released? I think on November the 17th, because the hashtag had never trended so high, right? I think he thought he was in a position of power and he thought, this is it, I can get the full cut, my full vision released. So you've got a problematic situation, and I'll ask you again, what would you rather? Zack stick to his guns or say, okay, at least allow me a 2-hour 50, a 3-hour cut of this film. So you're kind of losing half an hour, maybe an hour, but at the end of the day, it's his vision. And he'll put more of the stuff that we haven't seen in there. He can still do Black Suit Superman, and, you know, so he can still do all that, but he cuts it down. And at the moment, obviously, there's an impasse. I decided to do this video because, as I say, I want to be honest about what's going on, what's happened, what is happening. We all know this. We were talking about Zack not posting for ages. He had to post yesterday. He had to do something. He knew it. It was important for the trends. He organised this whole art competition to push the Snyder Cup forward. Because it's hard to think of new events, isn't it, to keep on pushing this. Because we're so desperate to see this film. So I'm undecided. I just don't feel we're ever going to see the 3.5, 4-hour version cut. And as I say, I know members of this community can get very triggered, and I expect to be attacked for this. And look, I respect everyone's view. One thing about social media, and I'm talking about YouTube as well, let everyone have their views, and I expect people to respond to me. I started a YouTube channel so my fellow DC fans and DCEU fans and Snyder fans could come in and respond. I only ask for constructive criticism and constructive response, because being aggressive and swearing and all that, there's no point. I'm just giving you my view. And I have knowledge of things. And as I say, I have the knowledge that Zack and Warner Brothers were negotiating and things were going well until it came to the fact that they wanted him to cut an hour off this movie, or at least push it down, trim it down to 3 hours, and he said no. And this is where we are now. There's an impasse. Zack won't budge. Warner Brothers won't budge. So, as I say, they are not going to release that full cut. So, I'm going to finish off this chat, and actually, I've decided while I've been saying all of this, yes, release the 3 hours. God damn it, release the 3 hours. At least we see 3 hours of Snyder Cup movie, right, is better than nothing. And then maybe one day we can fight for the director's cut of the director's cut. But come on, let's get this done, and then we can focus on the air cut as well. Maybe seeing the 3 hour Snyder Cut will help David's film come out as well. David's been very prominent on Twitter and Instagram in the last few months. Someone tweeting that his Suicide Squad movie gave them life and made them so happy, and he thanked them. He wants his cut released as well. He's not as blatant as Zack, but what happened to Zack happened to David, and we must remember that. So I'm going to pause this for just a second, then come back, and I'm going to read something, because I want to finally talk about Birds of Prey again, and I want to talk about why female-led movies are so controversial and cause so much aggressive opinion. I already have and finally segment, shouldn't I? But anyway, and finally, this is my thread about female-led movies, basically, and with what's been going on with Birds of Prey and the fake narrative and the negativity and people pretending that it's a failure, I think it's important I read this out to you. This is what I wrote this morning, so here we go. So why do female-led films have so much controversial baggage and male ones don't? Simple. Male-led movies are not making statements, they're making entertainment. And unfortunately, the people doing female-led films are not interested in entertainment. Isn't it sexist to turn a female-led movie into a statement rather than a piece of entertainment? I love Birds of Prey and Margot, but just imagine if they stayed away from the feminism and men hate. Imagine how much more money it could have made. Don't give me the Captain Marvel or Sarah Connor or Ripley argument. Alien and Aliens are not making a statement. It just happens to be a story with a female lead. Sarah Connor isn't the lead in the first two Terminators. The first two movies are Arnie's movies. He's the lead. Arnie is well, I'm getting all mixed up now, right? Listen. Basically, I'm saying that Terminator and Terminator 2, I'm reading my own words and I can't even read them. It's ridiculous. Terminator and Terminator 2, basically, people went in to see Arnie. Not Sarah Connor, not Linda Hamilton. She just happened to be the lead. But again, even if she is the lead, even if you deem she's the lead, at the end of the day, there's no statements being made in that film. It's about the entertainment and the story, not about the politics. Right. Finally, as for Captain Marvel, well, I don't need to mansplaining this one, do I? Until the industry understand that the consumer is done with their political weaponizing agendas, they will continue to lose money. Now, I think that's a pretty good statement, even if I do say so myself. But I think here's the thing. When you do a male-led movie, John Wick's a great example. My dad's in the kitchen watching it for the first time. He's loving it. John Wick is a male-led movie. It's not making a statement about male-led movies. It's just literally a film about a hitman who's, not a hitman anymore, and his wife died. She was terminally ill. She left him a dog. They killed his dog. He goes out for revenge. He's done 2 sequels since. That's revived Keanu Reeves' career, by the way. The point is that people love that film because they don't have to go in there being triggered. So with Birds of Prey, even though there's not strong feminist or men-hating commentary, it's there. We've been through that. I don't want to go through that again. But as I say, I believe that Birds of Prey will make around 200 million when all said is done. That's twice their budget. It's an amazing box office for what it is. But at the end of the day, I do believe it could have made more. It could have been more. First of all, it didn't have to be a Birds of Prey movie. That could have just been a Harley Quinn standalone movie. In fact, the mistake they made, let me go back and tell you the story of how this film came to be. Warner Brothers and Walter Hamada wanted to do a Harley and Joker movie. That's what they wanted to do. There was the Birds of Prey, there was Harley and the Joker, and the Gotham City Sirens. They were supposed to do all 3 of those films. I have my doubts if they will do those now, But the whole point was Harley and the Joker was supposed to be the first one. That was going to be Margot and Jared Leto together. Something we all would have loved. Even the people who don't particularly like Jared in Suicide Squad as Joker. And I've explained that. It's not his fault. You know, they cut all his scenes. That's why the guy never stood a chance. I think a Harley and a Joker movie, coming off the popularity of the Joker movie, would have been perfect, right? But no, that's not what Margot wanted. Margot aggressively pushed for a girl gang movie, a feminist movie. That's what she wanted to make. Now, Warner Brothers felt that they didn't want to upset her. They don't want to lose her as Harley. It's very important to them. It's very important to the DC set of films. So they gave her what she wanted. It wasn't really their fault. They didn't have much of a choice in the matter. That's what happened. She didn't want to do the Harley and Joker movie. She wanted to do what she did, and she did. And she's done it now. And I've said it before, she won't get to do it again. But for me, a Harley and a Joker movie with Jared Leto and Margot would have been awesome, and it would have probably crossed $1 billion. But hey, it's done now. We are where we are. We look forward to the next set of films, which is Wonder Woman 1984. Then it's the Batman. Then it's the Suicide Squad. So there's a lot to look forward to in this universe. So that's how I feel about female-led movies. They're more of a statement than a piece of entertainment. And when they become a piece of entertainment rather than a statement, everyone's not going to be so triggered, so controversial in their words about them and their reactions to them. But as long as Hollywood politically weaponize their films, we are going to stay here. The whole world has gone absolutely nuts. So, did you enjoy hashtagging Release the Snyder Cut yesterday? Tell me about your stories. Tell me about the new friends from the movement that you met. Do you agree with me that Warner Brothers will never release the 3.5, 4-hour cut? Or don't you agree with me? I want to hear all your opinions constructively, please. And what do you think about my thesis about female-led films? Again, comment down below, like, share and subscribe. And I'll be back tomorrow with even more DCEU Daily. See you again then.